Director of Ceremonies. I must recognize the Acting Vice Chancellor of NUST and the rest of the executive members from NUST. And as I recognize the leadership at NUST, I'm also recognizing the leadership of our various higher education institutions. Because when we started this journey to realize this very important project, all of them were involved. I would also like to recognize the ED from our ministry, a very pillar who also played a very critical role in first conceiving this whole project. The leadership of NSFAF, they are well recognized, and so is the leadership of NCHE, the Namibia Council on Higher Education. Another important component that needs to be recognized, and the word of gratitude needs to be forwarded to them, are our student leaders, the different SRC presidents of the various higher education institutions. They really walked the talk. They also gave us, I must say, hard time in some of the meetings, but I'm happy that at the end of the day, convergence of ideas and thoughts led us to this important project. We must all understand the fact that the COVID-19 support program to higher education is an initiative of the government of the Republic of Namibia under the able leadership of our president. When the first lockdown was looming, we sat as cabinet under his leadership and said, what will happen to the machinery or the engine that actually produces the human capital of our country? Does it mean that higher education will be suspended indefinitely? And so what? What will happen? So indeed, we thought hard. But again, in his own wisdom, he decided that there has to be this support initiative to higher education to ensure that we cover three main areas. The first one, support to all our public higher education institutions to ensure that they actually expand their their ICT infrastructure. That's one. This is why you hear the speakers, one after the other, talking about the fact that at NUST, as well as UNAM, the storage and the connectivity, the bandwidth will be expanded. Has been expanded here, and in no time will be expanded also at UNAM. The second important element was the fact that when the first few weeks of the lockdown took effect, we started engaging our higher education institutions to find out how many of our students really lack the necessary equipment as well as the connectivity. And this is when the NCHE also intensified its survey, and at the end of the day, the numbers were given, and we had to abide by what was decided already, to say that at least for those who are needy and truly so needy, no Namibian child should be left out because of the migration towards online education. And therefore, the second major component was that we must provide the connectivity gadgets to students in our higher education institutions, irrespective of whether they are at the public institutions and irrespective of whether they are funded by NSFAF. Wherever a needy Namibian higher education student is found, they must be provided with these connectivity gadgets. And thirdly, the laptops or computers. Again, it was in the same vein that we are going to look at this important last leg, if you may call it, of ensuring that every needy Namibian student at higher education level, irrespective of whether you are at UNAM or NUST, whether you are at ILM, whether you are at Morotronics, whether you are at Triumphant, wherever, and you can be proven that indeed you are needy, we've got to really benefit from this important initiative. Why is government doing this? The government is doing this because the youth of our country are the future of this nation. And therefore, providing them with the necessary quality education is so pivotal to the development and advancement of our nation, particularly, as he mentioned, in the fourth industrial revolution. It is a serious disservice for any child of Namibia to be at a university level and lack a simple thing like a laptop or a computer or even the connectivity that we are talking about. So government is taking it seriously that indeed it becomes the norm that the first years as they come in, NSFAF, hear me out, as the first years come in, those that you fund, it must be given that in as much as you provide them with the tuition fee, which is 100%, you provide them with the non-tuition fee, which is already standardized for some, or for most of them, the issue of connectivity gadgets, the issue of the necessary equipment like laptops, they have to be part of that package. With that, I thank you, and before I thank you, let me say this. I wish the students were here to listen to this. The gadgets as well as the laptops that they will be receiving, they are for their education. And honestly, there should be no child who receives this and misuses or abuses this for any other thing. They are for your education, for your research, anything that paves the way for your success. And there should be no overstaying at any given level. You are in 1 year to do what is to be done within a year and move on to the next level so that others could also benefit. Overstaying means you take the space of others. Both, well, not necessarily the funding, because the funding is normally forfeitable if you do fail. But I take it that those who will be benefiting will put this important equipment as well as gadgets to good use. With that, I thank you, and I don't know whether there will be another plan for launching, or can I do it? Will there be a device that I'm looking at? And by the way, I'm told that the device I'm launching today, as soon as a student receives it, they can use it straight away. There's nothing like, no, wait, I'm still, I have to unpack certain things, I have to do what, no. It's good as using it. I'm launching this by giving this to the SRC of NUST. And this is for you to make sure that the rest of the students that will be receiving this, not only at NUST, but at all our various tertiary institutions, they put this to good use. Okay? Congratulations.
Okay, so we want to have some good pictures. If my colleagues here can just move, and we just do justice to Honorable Minister. You want the banners?